All right. Hello. I think we're live. We're live. We're good. Okay. Welcome back to the table on this lovely but rainy where I am Sunday, which actually kind of makes this a nice little a nice game for this type of weather, for this environment that I'm in. I just because this is one of those beautiful games. This is one of those, and I play a lot of beautiful games. I say it all the time. I know, but uh, what what Lafleur brings to the table, and this is true of Duxonium's earlier game Botany as well, is just this just stunning production, right? What you see before you is this really well balanced, incredibly well illustrated. Um, just the art decision, the art direction generally of this game is second to none, right? And it so helps with immersive thematic immersion, and it helps for me at least. It helps with onboarding the rules and learning the game because if you don't have good thematic integration with a game, you can have really good rules, you can have a really good theme, but if they're not well connected, it's really difficult, in my view, to learn a game and to keep all those rules on board and follow them. So uh, and that can dramatically decrease the experience of playing the game if you're just having a really hard time keeping the rules in your head, right? So that you're not missing a rule, you're not making mistakes as often. And I'm sure I will make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes today. I always do. I try to keep them to a minimum, of course, but games like this really help make that a minimal issue. So, and so at the end of the day, what are we doing in Lafleur, right? Well, this is the Rococo area of France, or era of France, rather. And in that time period, uh, nobility especially was trying to kind of increase their standing in society, and to do that, they were trying to create reasons to attract, you know, ways to attract people to attend their parties and build their standing in society, and build their community of people that would want to come and spend time with them and build relationships with them, and in that way increase their standing and their stature, and ultimately their ability to influence France, at least French society, right? And so the way they did that, and as you'll see in the game, is they built these opulent gardens. They populated these gardens with incredible varieties of vegetation, flowers, fruits, vegetables, whatnot, from all over the world. And then they also then landscaped incredibly. If you haven't seen these videos, go look them up on YouTube. Some of these, like I think, go look up Time Team. Time Team did a like an hour-long special years ago on these huge opulent gardens and how they were manicured, and they're massive. They're hundreds of thousands of acres large, um, and they're manicured and to tell a story. This was a way that this was a form of performance in a way for these designers, for these architects, to take visitors on a journey, and it was meant to be viewed while on horseback or while on a carriage, and riding through this journey and going on these stories and seeing these discoveries as they go. And what would they discover? They would discover these scenes, these vistas with architecture, and they would build these kind of faux monuments, if you will, in many cases, to to kind of tell the story or make you feel a certain way. It was all very well designed. It was all done to the most meticulous detail because, again, no TV, no other forms of entertainment. This was what folks did for entertainment. They would hold parties. They would build these grounds to attract all these nobles and all these influential business people and whatnot, diplomats, foreign dignitaries, everybody, to come and enjoy these parties at their estates. And that was their main entertainment. That's where they invested a lot of their time and their money and their resources. And as you'll see here, I mean, we invest a ton of money in entertainment forms all over the world. I mean, how much does it cost to produce one movie, right? For example. So you figure how many movies come out from how many studios around the world. This is just films, right? Not talking cruises or anything else we spend our time and our money on in entertainment today. So so you think about all of that and all that money that we're spending on that. Well, those folks just dumped that same amount of money effectively into their estates to do this. So in this time period, what we're going to be doing in this game as well is building our gardens, building our opulent estates, and trying to get the aristocracy to come visit us. We can invite them. They can maybe come to us just because they've heard how good we are and how interesting our gardens are. And different visitors have different tastes. Some people really enjoy water features. Some people enjoy architecture and so on, right? And throughout the game, as you're building out your estate, you will gain allure in those various different ways that people want to enjoy these things, like architecture, like water features, and so on. And the amount of allure you gain as you're playing, as you're building your estate, the more you're able to attract those types of visitors to come visit you and come actually attend your garden party, not your opponent's garden party, but yours, because you have the most allure in this way, where your opponent may have the most allure in a different way. And so they're going to attract those visitors instead. Each visitor in the game has different benefits that you gain when that happens. And so it's just a matter of balancing who's around to come visit, right? What their interests are, and then tailoring your garden to those interests. But, you know, also knowing that the next round, you're going to see more visitors. So it could mean that you don't really attract the visitors early on, but what you're really doing is investing in a certain type of visitor that may show up later. It's a gamble, but you know kind of generally who's in French society, so it's an educated guess. But to do that, to build all that stuff, you're not personally going and doing all of that. No, you're an aristocrat, right? You have a lot of money. You're paying your artisans. You're hiring your artisans, these specialists that are just perfect for these kinds of jobs. You're hiring them to do these things for you. And so they go out on the board. So what you'll see is on the bottom left of the screen on my player board, in the very, very bottom, you can barely see it. Let me see. Yeah, I'll probably just show these here. These are my two artisans, and I'll put them on the screen. In fact, I'll put them on the screen right now so you can see them. These are my starting artisans, just to give you an example. And let's talk about them, right? Because when I send these folks out onto the board to do work for me, if I put them in the locations that they are specialized in, they will give me an additional benefit. I can put them anywhere if I really have to go do something, but I just won't get their special benefit as well. They're just a worker at that point. But if you look, there's a couple things going on. There's their special ability, of course, their name and their portrait, but up in the right corner is the type of allure that they provide to me just generally. They're an expert in that area. And as a result, they help you acquire, flowers from the flower market, they help you acquire flowers from the flower market, which then in turn help you gain garden features that are big in that area. In other words, if you think about Splendor, if you've ever played Splendor, as you gain more of a certain type of a person in your tableau, that contributes to your ability to buy things, right? So in other words, it reduces the cost of things because you have this machine that you're building, this tableau that you've built of people that are supporting of you. This is very similar. These people, the artisans that you have, I can have up to 4. At the moment, I only have 2. They make things cheaper for you because they already show up with clout, right? They already show up with a reputation of their own. So when they walk in and say, hey, I want to buy this or that, things just work for them because they've already opened the door for you. You've already hired them. They're already just getting stuff for you. So in many cases, things are just given to them because they are who they are and they work for you. So you get that benefit. So in this case, and I'm still learning the iconography names, but they are, and I have them here just so we can keep it all clear. They are, there we go. So there's 6 types. One of them is wild, so it's really just 5 types. And you know what? I'll just put the opponent's resources in here so you can, or allure types, so that you can see them as well. I'll put them over here. Hopefully they can, yeah, you can see them. Great. Okay, cool. So yeah. Okay, so those are 5, right? those are the six being wild. There's its own. It's basically like a bright yellow fleur de lis, right? Is the icon for wild. So what you see here, starting from the left, is architecture, and then the next one is water. The next one is paths, so pathing, like trails in your garden and so on. The next one is vistas. So vistas meaning lookouts, right? Again, I mentioned these estates are thousands of acres in some cases, right? That means they're large enough that you can stand on hillsides and look out over the entire estate and take in the entire vista of that place in one view, right? That's what I'm talking about. These people actually designed vistas and actually changed the landscape to make the vista feel a certain way. So they'd create hillsides, they'd create valleys, they'd create lakes, they do all of that in these huge, huge estates. So that's vistas. And then the last one is flowers, of course. So, I mean, the game is Fleur, right? So it's about flowers, but it's also just about gardens in general and these huge opulent estates. So, of course, flowers are going to take a huge focus in this game because, I mean, they named it after it. So whenever they gain allure, these markers, and this is true for me too, these markers go on my personal board and on the opponent's board to mark how much allure they have in that certain area. In other words, I become known for my water features, or I become known for my vistas. And if I have more allure in that type, then I will attract visitors during the garden party at the end of every round. One thing that's really cool that I really, really like is you can send a special invitation. You can actually devote one of your workers that round to just invite someone. That doesn't mean they're immediately going to visit you. It means that you break ties when you invite them. But what it also means, and this I think is a really neat thing, is if you've managed to get 5 or more allure in the type of attraction that they really, really like, then you can invite them to become your permanent companion, which happened. Like, that was a thing. It wasn't because of gardening exclusively, of course, but they had companions, and that was a way, wink, wink, nod, nod, to make it socially acceptable to have companions that you couldn't otherwise marry legally, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's one way they did it. And another way they did it was just that people didn't want to marry for whatever reason, right? And they would often take companions instead. So they would become kind of their lifelong companion. So in this game, what would happen is let's take Marguerite, for example. So I'll clear this off the board so I can show you Marguerite here. So put these back on the opponent's board. These are my artisans. I start with them, and I'll talk about them again in a minute. But let's take Marguerite. So here's Marguerite. She's one of the 2 people that can come visit gardens at the end of this round. They just, both of these people got drawn randomly off the top of the deck during setup. So if we look, and I believe that is flowers, right? Is that what I said? I'm going to do this a lot, I think, until I get them. Flowers, yeah. So Marguerite likes flowers. You can see that by the icon in the upper right corner. And so if I have 5 or more allure in flowers in my estate, I can invite them. You can send a special invitation. That's a location on the worker placement board. I can send a special invitation, and they can then become my permanent companion for the rest of the game. And what does that mean mechanically? It means what they give me when they come and visit, I would then gain every round until the end of the game. Instead of just getting them a one and done, they come and visit that round and then they leave. And this person then sticks around and becomes my permanent companion. And then I get that every single round, and they don't leave, which I think is great. It also means that because they are your permanent companion, they are, well, permanent, right? You get one. They don't leave again. So you should be choosy, just like in real life, right? So there's Marguerite. Marguerite, by the way, if she does come and visit me at the estate, gives me 2 prestige. So if Marguerite becomes my permanent companion, I would get 2 prestige, which is victory points in this game, every single round until the end of the game. What's interesting is it's not just about victory points. Prestige does one other really important thing in Fleur, and that is it triggers, at a certain thresholds, it triggers more visitors being available to visit people's gardens or estates every round from that point forward. And why that's cool is because every one of them that visits you gives you a benefit. But it also thematically, why that makes so much sense is that essentially the word is out. You've designed this incredible estate. And so now more people are raising their hand and asking you, hey, I would love to come see what you've built. So you have now your own renown as that aristocrat building that estate to say, hey, I've built this amazing thing and people want to come see it. I'm the Walt Disney of France, of Rococo, France. I've built this amazing park and people want to come see my park, right? That's essentially what happens. So the more victory points that anyone gains, once that threshold is crossed, you get more people showing up to then come and visit. And so in a way, the more victory points you earn, the faster the game is ultimately going to go, because the more resources you gain at the end of every round, the more resources you have, the more you can use them. The more you can use them, the faster you can build things. And so the game accelerates, right? That's great because it has this natural speed to it. So it starts out nice and slow while you're learning the game, while you're getting started, which is a benefit to me because this is a brand new game and I haven't had a chance to really play it. So you're going to learn right alongside me. So as it goes, it starts nice and slow. You get a couple visitors. Everything's great. There is no number of rounds. This goes until one person has managed to achieve 12 prestige. The end. Once that happens, you trigger the end of the game. But more importantly, once one person has 4, that's why you see this on the board here. Once one person has 4 prestige, then you get at the start of the next round, you get 1 more visitor that comes out. Once person crosses 8, you get 1 more. So that would be 4, right? Visitors. And then finally, when the end of the game is triggered at 12, a final 1 more visitor. So a total of 5 would come out for the end of that round. So that's an idea of how this game ramps up and scales. So let's talk worker placement, right? We talked prestige. We talked about special invitation. That's right here. Over here is the flower market. I think we're going to interact with that a lot, and that's by design. When you go to the flower market, when you send an artisan, I should say, to visit the flower market on your behalf, you can buy a flower that's in the market face up according to its value, according to how much it costs. The price, so let's take a look at this flower. This is an example of one of the flowers. This is a peach-leaved bellflower, and it costs $2 or 2 coins, and you can see that marked in the upper right corner. And then finally, the benefit it gains you are these 2 allure types. Once you have that, you can then spend these flowers to go in other ways. We'll cover that in the different types of actions. But the flower, these allure types give you a lot of things. You can if you just have them in your hand, at the end of the game, they're worth something. If you use them to get, say, garden features, then that helps pay the price for that garden feature. In other words, you're going to put these flowers in that garden. Think of it that way. And in order to build it, you have to have flowers of these types. And that's kind of the thematic way to think about it. So, pretty flower. Love the art. Amy did an amazing job on the illustrations and choosing the art direction generally. Amy is one of the designers of the game as well. So in this case, if I wanted to buy this flower, I'd have to pay $2 by sending my artisan to the flower market and buying this card. But then I would get these 2 abilities, right? But there are other cards, like this one, which is this sweet acacia, right? Another really pretty flower. It has no cost. It's free. I could just send my artisan there, not pay a dime, pick it up. but you'll notice it only has one allure type, not two. So the trade-off being, I don't have to pay any money, but it's a little less useful for its purpose. So in this case, I shuffled the hell out of these decks. I swear I did. But the top 3 of the 4 flowers that came out this first round have no cost, which, hey, is great for this kind of the starting round. But they also are almost all the same type, unfortunately. But that is what it is, right? So we're gonna see how this goes. But I mean, the game is telling me, hey, this is where you have to be. So that's what we're gonna do. So that's the flower market. I go to flower market, I buy a flower. If I don't like what's on display, I can top deck. I can just buy the top card of the deck blind for 1 coin. But remember, the pricing of flower cards is 0, 1, or 2. So you're being asked to pay 1 coin for blind, which means you might get a flower card that's worth 0, right? So you spend $1 for a card that would have been free if you saw it face up, but it might actually give you the allure type that you want, or at least an allure type that's better than what's on display for what you're trying to do. So the gamble being, at least I'm not stuck with the 4 that are face up. I can at least top deck, but it will cost me $1. So it can be a good investment. You might get a card that's worth 2 and you just got a $1 discount, right? So, think of it like that. But I don't know the distribution of 2, 0, and 1 cards are within that deck. So we'll find out. But so there you go. You visit the market, you buy a flower. It might be free. You might top deck if you don't like what's there. So let's see. Oh, interesting. I can, I'm guessing, go and bribe people for prestige, right? I can just be like, hey, I'm going to spend my artisan. I'm going to go out. And I'm going to talk up my aristocrat. I'm going to, make me sound really good in the world, in the community. And that will hopefully increase my standing, right? I can only do it once per round, but I can just essentially devote time to building my own legend, if you will, right? And then special invitation we covered, where I can say, hey, I want to invite this person. And if all things being equal, if there is a tie with my opponent, that person will choose me over them because I took the time to extend a personal invitation. If I want more artisans, remember I start with 2, but I can have up to 4. I can just visit the artisan guild with one of my artisans, and I can spend $8 to hire a new one. So they're very expensive. I start with $3, and so far I haven't found many ways to make a lot of money. So $8 is a huge investment. We'll find out. I mean, I'm seeing 1 thing on the board right now that gives me 1 coin. No, that's not true. That's 2. As 1 over there, but it requires like 4 allure types to get that garden feature. So like, whew, I mean, the investment to try to get some of these things just to have 1 coin for each thing, for example. So like, yeah, there's some synergies. If you do certain things, then certain things are worth more, and so on. So like, or give you better benefits. But money's tight, right? So spend $8 on an artisan. Anyway, so you could go, you can draw a card, you can hire that artisan, and they become an artisan that helps you out. Now, one of the benefits there is no matter what the value is, no matter what the benefit is that they give you, at the end of the day, they are a 3rd worker. So you get to do 3 things every round while your opponent only gets to do 2. So that stacks. That really, really, to do that early would be a huge thing. But let's say, for example, you have an artisan that just isn't working for you. It's not part of your strategy. It's not really benefiting you. You're using that. You inevitably have to use that artisan for things that they're not, well tailored to do. But they're going to do this stuff, but they're not going to give you the extra oomph that most artisans do. You can instead pay $4 to rehire an artisan. Essentially say, you know what, you're great. It's not you, it's me, right? Let's part ways, and I'll bring in a different artisan that's better suited for what I'm trying to do. And that's what you can do. You can have 8 to add an artisan, add a worker, and then 4 to swap the type of worker that you already have. So you'd still have 2, but you'd have a different special ability and a different affinity, right? A different way to get things for cheaper. So when I mean get things for cheaper, what I'm really talking about is the garden features, right? And that's our last stop over here. Garden features are the kind of the main engine of the game, if you will. You're buying flowers and you're using those flowers and you're using your artisans to get things for cheaper and getting garden features specifically for cheaper. There's kind of three main types of garden features in the game. They get you a benefit when you gain them, or I should say when they are visited by visitors. They get you benefits every time they are visited. So essentially at the end of every round, if you get someone to come visit you. And that's the yellow kind. These are like this one up on, oh, you can't see my head. That's this one up on the top here. In fact, I'll show that. So that's an example, right? This is the temple. When visited, gain 1 coin for each, and here I go again, not remembering my allure types. For each vista, for each vista for each vista visitor you receive. So if I have a visitor that likes vistas, like for example Daphne, this other person who's here today, this person, if Daphne were to come and visit me, Daphne would give me 1 prestige and 1 coin, but you'll notice that Daphne is going to visit the estate that has the highest vista allure type, right? So if I somehow managed to get the temple in my estate, this would assist in attracting Daphne or people like Daphne to come to my estate and check it out. And if that happens, every time someone like that visits, I gain a coin for every Vista visitor I receive. So if 2 or 3 different Vista people are there, and all of them come to me because I win, that means I get all those benefits from all 3 people, and I also gain an additional coin because the temple is a main attractor, and they decide to give me more money to continue my development of my estate, for example. There's only one last thing to talk about, and that is the events. At the beginning of the first round, there are no event cards that come out, but events are round-specific modifiers. So these are things that happen just for the round. They may be beneficial, they may be hindering you in some way, but they hinder everybody. It's a true adjustment for every round. I'll get into those as we see them, because I think they're going to be very specific to what's going on at the time, and that's good enough. I lied. There is one other thing. Each player has their own set of goals and things that if you achieve them, they give you even more benefits. I believe, I don't know how to say this in the French tongue, but it's Antoine is who I'm playing. And if we look at my character card, there it is. Let's see if it shows up fully on the screen. Oh, it does. Look at me. Okay, good. So this is who I'm playing. By the way, I should mention, it just is happenstance that I'm playing a male character, and I'm playing against a male character. There are characters across the spectrum in this deck. They did a great job with A, representation, and B, diversity. But it just happens to be that that's what was drawn, and that's what I ended up choosing from, and I really value that. I think the art, again, is stunning. Look at that character card. Just look at that. It's beautiful. So Antoine is who I'm playing, and if at the end of the round I have 3 flower, I think that's flower, allure, if I have 3 flower allure, for every 3 flower allure I have. So let's say I had 6, this would trigger twice. So at the end of the round, gain 1 flower card. I believe that's just from the top of the deck. For every 3 flower allure in my chateau. So in other words, the word is out that I have an amazing garden, amazing diversity of flora in my garden. So I'm just gaining more flowers, either from seeding my own, like doing cuttings and growing my own flowers, or people just giving me flowers, because I'm just known for that. Now they want to have their name attached to my garden to say I've got my flowers in their location. So between the two of those, thematically, it makes perfect sense that I'm gaining more flowers the more flowers that I have. And then the second one, if I manage to achieve that, at the end of the round, gain 1 coin for every 3 architecture allure types in my chateau. So people are just paying me to come and view my architecture, essentially. So the more architecture I build, the more money I will make for every 3. And then finally, at the end of the round, I gain 1 prestige if I have a companion. So Antoine's looking for love, y'all. So this is, I really like this goal. I think this is cool because it really speaks to how much they value that. It wasn't just a bolt-on. They actually made at least one character who wants that companion. So my goal, if I want that 3rd one, is to get to 5 allure on one of these types and get that companion to visit, that would-be companion to visit my estate. And once I do have that, at the end of every round after that, I will get a prestige for that. So it would behoove me to specialize on one of these 2, either flower or architecture, in order to get to 5 on that type as quickly as I can, so that I can get a companion. So these 3 work well together, obviously, and I think they are my 3 targets for the game, my personal 3 targets. So my opponent is Captain George. Captain George and I go way back. We don't like each other. No, I don't know. I just made that up. So here's Captain George. I mean, look at him. Come on. He's so stuffy. I'm so kind looking. Right? Why would you want to hang out with that guy? Hang out with me. So Captain George is competing against me. He's trying to build an estate and get the visitors that I would otherwise get, right? And similarly, his synergies are, at the end of the round, he gains 1 flower card for every 3 path types in his garden, in his chateau, right? Or at the end of the round, gain 1 coin for every 3 vistas. So where I'm getting flower and architecture, he's getting paths and vistas. And he gets flower cards and money, same as me, for those 2 respectively. But where things get a little different is at the end of the round, he gains 1 prestige if he has 8 or more coins. So the more money he hoards, the more prestige he gains, because he rich and everybody likes them rich boys, which is unfortunately, but here we are. Unfortunately true. So I'm not really caring about my money so much, so I'm going to spend it while he's going to try to hoard it. So that's it. That's the setup. I mean, there was a lot there, but I kind of wanted to make sure I peppered in the thematics, and I think it was good for me to walk through it all because, again, this game is new, and I know that was a long walkthrough, but I hope it was valuable. It certainly was for me. And so I think we're going to get started. And at the beginning of the game, I am the first player. Mechanically, what happens is at the end of every round, the first player moves back and forth. In a solo game, I've found that that's actually pretty rare. It's very uncommon for games these days to require to move the first player marker back and forth in a solo context. I don't know why that is. I actually really prefer it, even though it is an extra piece of upkeep to manage. But I like it because it changes the tempo of every round. And it's something that I need to now think about and strategize around. So, beginning of the game, I am first player, but next round, George is going first. And he's going to try to do things his own way. But the other thing that this game does that I don't think I see very often is most of the time what happens in games like this is that I take my action and then George takes his. And then when he gets done with his action, then it comes back to me and I take my action. And we go back and forth until we don't have any more actions. And then the round is over. That's not this game. This game, when you are the first player, or really when it's your turn, you take all of your actions. You put out all of your artisans. If you have 2, that's 2. If you put out 4, if you have 4, then you do 4 actions all at once in whatever order you want. And when you're done with your turn entirely, then the play moves to the opponent, and the opponent does all of theirs all at once. What's really neat is that George, literally the solo player anyway, is cycling a lot of things. Well, not cycling even, but just taking cards, and that's just what they're doing, right? They're not fussing around with placing workers and doing whatever. There's just a set list of things that they do, and then they score, and that's it. I actually really like that. for this game especially, because it means that I can focus on my strategy. I don't have to try to put my strategy on pause, go resolve this solo player over here, and then come back and go, okay, now my strategy was where? It was here. Okay, now do something. Oh, okay, now it's their turn again. Put that on hold. Back to them. What are they doing? They're doing this fussy. Right, now back. That back and forth is really disjointed. It really can really mess up your ability to like take your turns in a cohesive way and maximize your strategy, because you're mentally trying to also resolve the solo player. So this makes it so that I can just go and then this and then this and then that and spend that and wow, done. Okay, George does blah blah blah, done. Okay, end of round, right? Like that's cool. So my turn. What am I going to do? I have 2 workers. One of them is a painter, and his special ability is that if I put him, let's say I put him over here in the special invitation area, before I place him there, I can look at the top 3 cards from the visitor deck, and I can choose, if I want to add that one of them to the list of people that are going to come out this round and come visit our gardens. So I can essentially curate 1 card every round and see if I can get the type of visitor that I want. Now it's limited. I can't just go rifling through the whole deck, but it's top 3. I get to pick from the top 3. So that's pretty attractive, at least, especially right now when I'm trying to curate the exact type of thing that's going to pull one of these people over. Because I'm looking for flowers and architecture. And so Marguerite, to me, is looking really interesting because she wants flowers. And she gains 2 prestige. I would really also like Daphne to come visit me because she gives me a coin, and coins are hard to get. And I'm really gunning to try to get a 3rd worker as fast as I can. And in addition to try to get the garden featured that I'm looking for. So I don't, do I start with flower cards? I probably should draw flower cards. I think I do. I think I start with 3. I don't think I did that yet. Dee boop, 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 boop. Pawns. Flower cards. Deal 3 flower cards randomly. 3. Okay, that's what I thought. Let's find out what cards we have. I didn't even draw my cards yet. I normally do when I set these up, but let's see what we got. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So these are the 3 cards that I drew randomly into my hand. Yeah, so that's interesting. I get 2 free cards and 1 that's worth 2 because, again, it has 2 different allure types on it. And why that matters is because it's going to impact what I buy for garden features, right? So I have these 3 cards. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at how we buy purchasing a garden feature. Garden features can be purchased using any combination of flower cards and artisan cards that match all of the allure types in the garden. You can spend flower cards from your hand to contribute to the purchase of a garden feature if those cards have allure types that match the symbols in the garden feature card. If a discarded flower card has more than 1 allure type, both allure types are required by the garden feature. Oh, and both allure types are required by the garden feature, then a single flower card can then be used to pay for both the required allure types. So let's look. Yeah, so here's an example of what they mean by that. So let's say I was going to go for, I didn't even describe the other 2, did I? I was in the garden feature and I described 1. When you visit, they're the yellow kind. The blue ones are game end abilities. So if I get these features in my garden, they won't score till the end of the game, but they give me targets to reach. For example, +3 prestige if you have 4 artisan cards. So if I hire 4 artisans by the end of the game, I get 3 extra victory points, but only if I have the courtyard built in my estate by the end of the game. That gives you 1. And so the last one is when you acquire that estate type. So one of them is when they are visited by artisans. That's the yellow. The blue is game end, and the green is when I get it. So as soon as I get it, I would get that benefit. So let's take a look at the green one because that actually is kind of in line with what we're looking at. So you'll notice the lavender that's in my hand right now helps me with getting the bowling green. And when I acquire the bowling green, I can swap 1 flower card in my hand for 1 flower card in my target opponent's hand. I don't know quite yet how those are supposed to work. with a solo player. We're going to deal with that. But regardless, the benefit of this is having those allure types in my garden. So if I were to get the bowling green, I would then get, I would be able to go up on those allure tracks on my card, on my board. So my estate, my chateau, would have a 1 allure in the purple one, 1 allure in the green one, and 2 allure in the white one, which is flowers. And I would do all of that. I would go up on those allure tracks just by getting that one garden feature in my garden. So the lavender is helping me. I'm halfway to being able to achieve that with just the one card. Let me think here. On the flip side, I could right now be able to achieve that. And here's how. Well, I could spend the lavender. That would be kind of an expensive way to do it. I could spend the lavender to use the green, and then I could spend this black false hellebore. That's a weird name, but there you go. Black false hellebore for the other one. And I wouldn't pay anything else. I'd pay those 2 cards, and that would be it. I'd get this garden feature. And if I did, I would gain +4 prestige at the end of the game. If I have, I would gain +2 prestige if I have 4 or more flower allure at the end of the game, which I want anyway. So this synergizes really well. I think, oh, I'm sorry, not flower, water. So if I have 4 water allure, then I would gain 2 prestige at the end of the game. So, and it's a bridge, so it makes sense, right? Thematically. So I could spend those 2 cards, or I could instead use my landscaper, who's my worker. He gains me, I already have this worker, right? He gains me 1 green, 1 pathing, right? And that would discount that garden feature by the green cost, and I would only have to pay this black false hellebore to get the bridge, because he helped me out on the path side. That might be the way to go. If I do that, the reason why I wouldn't want to do that is because our 2 visitors don't want those types. This round, our 2 visitors want 2 different types of allure. So I would be better off trying to gun for this bowling green, because Marguerite likes flowers, and that gives me 2 allure and flowers. And Daphne likes whatever that is, and I always forget, vistas. And that gives me a vista allure. So I would be 1 up on my allure track, and therefore probably attract both of them if I manage to get the bowling green in my estate. So how do I do that, right? I could spend flower cards, or, oh, that's right. I can also discard any 2 flower cards to count as 1 allure that I'm looking for, right? So I could use this for the 2 that are on it, and I could discard those for 1 of the 2 flower cards that I'm looking for. The problem is I don't have the second one, and there's no way to make a second one right now. And I don't have an artisan that gives me a flower allure. So, yeah, let's see. And artisan cards. Purchasing example. The pavilion garden features that to the left one. Right. Artisan. Pavilion feature costs. You could use 1 flower card that contributes to, plus your landscape or artisan. Okay, right. Each of the player's artisan cards may contribute to their allure type towards the purchase of a garden feature once per round. An artist pawn do not have to be present. Oh, good. Okay, great. That was my question. Okay, great. Cool. All right. So I need to somehow get the flower allure in order to get this bowling green done. And I don't see a way to do that, because I may restock. Oh, interesting. Okay. Because okay, so let's say that I buy from the flower market blind because the 4 flowers that are out there do not give me that allure type. In the hope that what I draw blind is that kind. I mean, that's a real big gamble. I'm spending $1 to do it, so I'm decreasing my ability to hire an artisan. It just doesn't seem like the thing to do. In my hand, I have 2 Vista cards already. I could get a third by getting a third card. Let's think here. Okay, and I assume I have to pay the full price. It isn't like I have to solve. Yeah. I do have to get it all. Okay. So I think we're going to go for the temple. Even though, well, it does contribute. Okay, yeah, I think the temple is probably the way to go. So let's take a look at the temple. Again, I'm learning as we go here. So this is my first turn I've ever played in this game. So I'm working through the strategy live on stream. But, you know, I think that's one of the cool things that I like to do on the stream that I don't think a lot of people do. They don't spend the time to go deep on thinking through these things on stream. They just know what they're doing intrinsically and they take their turn and they leave it to the viewer to figure out the rest or read the book. If that's what you want, that's not me. I'm going to work through these things live on these streams every time. So here we go. So I think this fits in my strategy because I think I can get this done right away and it does contribute to my overall strategy. So I'll talk through why that is. The temple gives me a coin every time somebody who likes vistas visits my garden. So that's one. That's great. Daphne's one of those people. So that works. Daphne's one of the people that are going to come visit later. So this would contribute. I also would gain 3 allure in vistas, which kind of takes away from Captain George and his ability to get his stuff done. That's good. But more importantly, that's not actually the important part. My painter can contribute to purchasing this. So that would be a 1 Vista discount. This would give me 1 Vista. This would give me 1 Vista. So that satisfies all 3. The artisan gets 1. My cards get the other 2. So what I need now is 1 more card. Because if I have 1 more card, I can discard it along with 1 other type to get this, to make it essentially this red. So I'd be out of cards, but I would have this done at the end of my round. I would have this Vista. I mean, I would have this garden feature in my estate. And more importantly, for the whole rest of the game, every single time I win a visitor at the garden party, I get a coin. So I'm going to be able to buy workers. I'm going to be able to get more artisans a lot faster. Because this will be a good money maker for me, just generally. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so first things first, I can't buy this right now because I don't have the cards. So my first step is to take a worker and go to the flower market. And I want a free card because I don't want to spend any money for this. So I'm going to take, it doesn't really matter which. Let me take these cards off so you can see the board. So this is my hand. Yeah, so there we go. There's the board. I put my worker on the flower market because that's where I'm going first. I'm going to get a free card. I'm going to take this bitter orange. Doesn't matter, right? There, that's in my hand now. I paid nothing for it. I don't believe the flower cards, no, they don't. The flower cards don't refill. They stay, it's first come, first serve for the round. So that was my first choice. I only have 1 more worker, so I have to go to the garden feature now, right? Because I can't, even though that worker has other abilities, it doesn't matter because I just have to go to the garden feature in order to get this done. So this is my other, by the way, this is my other worker. My other artisan says, before placing this artisan, I can restock empty flower card spaces. In this case, they were all full, so I couldn't use that ability. But in the future, especially if I'm the second to act, I'm certain there will be other flower cards missing. So I'll be able to take advantage of that. I hope in the solo game that's how it works. I think he might just top deck the flower deck though, which is kind of annoying in terms of rotating cards. Okay, but we'll see. Okay, so I went first to the flower market. I got a flower card. I now have 4 cards in my hand. I went for my second action to the garden feature, where I'm now going to attempt to buy the temple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, in fact, I don't need to spend the fancy card. Oh, yes, I do, because I'm going to have to discard all my cards no matter what I do. Okay, so we're going to use that blood orange. Okay, cool. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, here's the 2 Vista Allure. And I need 3, so I'm going to, on my player board, way down at the bottom, you can't really see it. I'll try to see if I can cheat it up a little bit so you can. Yeah, that might have to do. So you'll see that I've tapped one of my worker cards. He's tilted off to the side. That's to denote that I've spent his one-time benefit every round to help me buy a garden feature. So he's now contributed to making that garden feature cheaper. So there's my 3rd. And lastly, I can discard any two flower cards to make an allure type of my choosing. So I'm going to choose the architecture allure type. I'm going to discard these 2. They go to the discard pile. Huzzah. And that becomes my 4th requirement. And I've just bought the temple. So the temple comes up here and is now part of my chateau. Oh, that's weird. I'll have to show them that. There's not a misprint, but a little bit of a, not damage, but like just a graphical thing. There's a color blotchiness to this card, the way it got printed. So I have now successfully completed the temple. So now this is going to take me a minute because I haven't ever resolved the solo player. So we're going to take a second to walk through that slowly because I don't want to mess this up. Okay. Yeah. On their turn, your opponent acts in the following manner. I discard the rightmost flower card. Okay. This at the moment is the rightmost flower card. So that's going to go away. Okay. Take the garden feature card from the top of the deck and place it in front of your opponent. Top of the deck in front of my opponent. We're going to see what that is. Okay. That unfortunately helps him. I don't like that, but here we are. Oh, and I should have done one thing before we finish resolving him. Is I go up on my allure tracks for the types of allure in that garden feature that I just got. So now I'm at 1 allure for architecture, and I'm at 3 allure for vistas. So that contributed to my, 3 or more gain a coin goal that I personally have. I would have preferred if those were swapped, but hey, I'll take it, right? It wasn't a net loss. It benefited me in a couple different ways, and I feel like that was a good first move. So anyway, I just want to make sure I went up on my allure tracks, and I did. So anyway, back to this. I took the garden feature, take the cards from the top of the garden feature equal to the number of visitors present in the visitor area and earn allure. Holy, he gets 2 because there's 2 visitors. Oh my goodness. That's no good. Okay. Take the cards from the top of the flower deck equal to the number of visitors present in the visitor area, 2, and earn allure according to the allure types on the cards. Well, he has now 4 allure and flowers, which he does not want, which is great for me. Well, he doesn't not want it, but like it's not part of his goal structure. He gets 2, unfortunately, of vistas. He does want those. He gets, for every 3, he gets a benefit. And he gets 2 of water features as well, which he doesn't care about. So all in all, like he went up on some tracks, but unfortunately that does mean that Marguerite's going to prefer to go to him because he now has higher allure. I am still higher for Daphne so far. He's at 2 and I'm at 3. So far I still win in Daphne's case. I didn't get a chance to give him a special invitation, so I'm not going to break a tie. But at the moment, I'm winning. So, yeah, interesting. Okay. Yeah. If tied, what? Oh, I see. Okay. Didn't get a wild, so it doesn't matter. Discard these to the flower discard pile. What? Oh. I did that. No, I did that right. Oh, I misread it. Okay, well, we'll bury this garden type then, because I misread it. He did not go up twice. This was his first card. He went up these two and did not go up on water. Okay, I misread it. I skipped ahead on accident. In the garden feature section, he just takes one card. I thought that was a lot. He just takes one card every round. He doesn't take the number of garden features per visitor. That was incorrect. In the flower card section next, he takes a variable amount of flower cards. That makes far more sense. So let's see. Take cards from the top of the flower deck. Oh, whoops. Let me back up. Take the garden feature card from the top of the deck, which I've done. Place it in front of your opponent, which I have done. Score this at the appropriate time, if applicable. Note that rewards related to companions, garden features, and artisans will never be scored. Okay. Your opponent does not gain allure for this garden feature, so he's still at 0. Very interesting. Okay. Then why does he have that? We'll get to that, I guess. I'm not sure why he cares about getting garden features then. Score this at the appropriate time. Oh, because there's some things that are going to be like end of round or end of game and so on. Okay, I get it. Okay, moving on. So that was garden feature. I did most of that incorrectly. He was just supposed to get the card, and I would score it when appropriate. In this case, it's end of round, which doesn't actually help him because he doesn't get artisans. So, haha. But it will help him towards end of game scoring, I'm sure. I think there's going to be a section in here about how he scores for later. But the next part is take cards from the top of the flower deck equal to the number of visitors. So I had accidentally mashed that up. So there are 2 visitors, so he gets 2 flower cards. So that's what he just got. Okay. And earn allure according to the allure types on the cards. For each wild card, gain the allure type that appears most frequently. There's no wilds. We'll skip that for now. Discard these flower cards into the discard pile in the same order drawn. No. Well, I'm going to count that as the first one I drew because it's the bottommost card. Okay. After scoring them. Okay, great. So he just goes up 1 for each of these. So he's here, here, and here. So unfortunately, he still manages to attract Marguerite to his garden party because he has a 1 in flower and I have 0. So it is what it is. But I'm tied on architecture, but nobody wants architecture right now. But more importantly, I do get Daphne. So I get Daphne, he gets Marguerite this turn. It's from the look of it. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so these 2 flower cards go away. Yeah, and so do mine because I spent those on that garden feature. So those are gone. Okay. I'm out of cards. I don't like that. Do. If you are playing against the hardest opponent, I am not playing against the hardest opponent. I could barely win against an easy opponent most days. Not happening. Okay. Ending a round and starting the next round. At the end of the round, your opponent will score prestige, flower cards, and coins from the visitors and their own character abilities, just as you or another opponent would. They would also score any end of round or when visited garden feature cards if applicable. In this case, not applicable. There is an end of round benefit, but he doesn't have an artisan, so it doesn't matter. Score their points on the prestige tracker and adjust the number of visitors received each round, just as you would in a multiplayer game. To start the next round, slide all garden feature cards down and slide all flower cards to the right, then fill in their respective empty spots. Your opponent will keep all flower cards earned through visitor and character rewards face down. Oh, I see. So that's later. They will never collect artisan cards. Great. Okay, well, that answers that. Okay. Note for events and visitors. Your opponent will always take the action, such as spending coins or flowers to gain prestige, offered by event and visitor cards if they are able to do so. Some events won't apply to your opponent, but you can still take advantage of them. For Notre Dame de Paris, your opponent will always take 1 prestige. Okay. Okay, so let's end the round then, because I haven't done the end of round stuff, and that means I don't have a clue what's going to happen for him yet either. End of round. Once the garden party step has been completed. The garden party step has not been completed. Let's get that done. So his turn is done. He has taken care of his actions. So now it is down to the garden party. So at the end of every round, we host a garden party, each of us, and this is what attracts those visitors to our chateaus. Once all players have placed all of their available artisans, the garden party step begins. The face-up visitors on the board each visit the chateau of the player with the highest total allure that matches the visitor's allure type, and move to that player's play area. If players are tied for the most allure, the visitor is unable to choose which garden party to visit, and so will visit no one. So, ties that are not broken mean that visitor goes nowhere, does not come to either of you. There is no limit to the number of visitors a player can receive on their garden party. So let's just take that. Let's take it one visitor at a time. We have Daphne. Daphne looks for, brain is just not thinking. Vistas. Daphne loves vistas, right? So who's got the higher? Let's take a look. I've got 3. He's got 1. Daphne comes to me. So we'll resolve Daphne in a moment. Marguerite loves flowers. I don't have any flower allure, and George has 1 flower allure. So Marguerite is coming to George. So let's resolve me. Daphne earns me 1 prestige. So I go up 1 on the prestige track, which is actually here. Should have been off the board. And I get 1 coin, more importantly. So we come to our little pink Fleur de Lis coin bag, which, by the way, is stunning. It's embroidered. It's not printed. It's like a felt bag with an embroidered gold Fleur de Lis and a gold pull strings. Stunning. And this is my little coin purse. So I gain 1 coin. So now I'm up at $4. Cool. Well, move that off to the side. Okay, great. So that was Daphne. Earned me a coin and 1 prestige. So I now have enough money to rehire if I wanted to replace one of my artisans. I actually like both of my artisans, so I'm probably not going to do that in this case. I'm going to continue to gun for $8 so that I can get another one. Anywho, Marguerite is very simple. Marguerite just earns 2 prestige. So Sir George is 1 up on me. He's got 2 prestige to my 1. Okay. Na, 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 na. Yep, starting with the player with the first player pawn resolves the text on each visitor card. Yep, did that. Did that. Visitor effects. I don't have garden fee. Ooh, I do. I gain 1 coin when visited for each person who wants vistas. Daphne wants vistas. Like I said when I made that choice, that gives me 1 extra coin from Daphne. So instead of getting 1, I now get 2 because Daphne loves the vista that I have created. So now I'm at 5 coins. Huzzah for the tipper. Okay. When visited abilities. Yeah, that's what I just did. Okay. Au revoir. Au revoir. I can't never do that. I'm not a very good French speaker. But it's bye-bye. Once all players have resolved the text on visitor cards in their play area, move all visitor cards in all play areas, except companions, to those left in the visitor area board. And those left in the visitor. Oh, okay, got it. So the ones that didn't come anywhere. Got it. So all visitors out at this point get discarded, including the ones that couldn't make up their mind and didn't visit anybody. They all go away. The end of the round. Cool. Oh, that's neat. Okay, good to know. Just it was a note about certain types of garden features. So let's talk about, that's that. Okay, that's the end of the garden party. Great. End of the round. Once the garden party step has been completed, each player will resolve any end of round effects. Nope. Then all players will prepare the game board and their chateau boards for the next round. Discard remaining face-up visitors. Did that. Return artisan pawns to the board. My pawns come back to here. Boopity-boop. First player pawn passes to Sir George, sadly. Garden features with end of round. Nope. Check for grand soiree. No player has more than 12, or 12 or more, rather. So we're not end of the game. Character abilities. Starting with the player with the first player pawn, each player in turn order resolves the ability text on their character cards. No one character, including me, has anything qualifying in their abilities. Okay? Reset artisans. Any artisans who contributed to the purchase. That would be this one tapped painter of mine. So he gets reset. He can now be used again. Yep. Great. Okay. Oh, and there was a end of round thing. There it is. Okay. To start the next round, slide all garden features down. Done. And all flower cards to the right. Then fill their respective empties. So these go over here. Oldest stays old. And we're going to go here and here. Ooh, got 2 flower cards coming in. I like it. I need it. Okay, and then we're going to fill this guy. And that is another game ender. 2 green and 2 blues. So 2 water features and 2 paths. Game end, if you have 2 or more of each allure type, gain 3 prestige. It's a fish pond. Huh. Okay, so that's like an all-rounder. If anybody's just going up on everything. That's neat. Okay. Cool. Cool. Right. Yes. Okay. Okay. Right. What about start of the new round? That's probably just draw new visitors and move on with life, right? I'm guessing. Garden party. Artisan cards. Locations. Start of round. Draw and place 1 flower card face up in each empty. Did that already. Draw and place 1 garden feature face up. Did that already. For each empty space, of course. Visitor cards. Nobody has passed 4 on prestige, so it still stays 2. So here comes 2. Now we're going to start to move a little quicker because we've done all of the steps. we're now familiar with how the game basically runs. This time around, we have two visitors. We have Jean-Paul, who will give 2 coins to the garden party that has the most water allure. And we have Therese. Therese will give 1 coin and 1 flower card to the garden party that has the most vistas, which currently is me. And there's only 1 vista type out right now that would let me increase that. And I would really prefer to increase it. I really would like to try to get that bowling green. But how do I do that? Because I don't get to gain any more flower cards. It's not like I get dealt more flower cards, and I only have 2 artisans. So does that mean I'm just going to spend 2 turns to get 2 cards this round? That sucks. Probably, and I'm probably going to have to wait until the start of next round to spend them, because I won't be able to go to the garden features section. But it doesn't matter, because it's actually Captain George's turn, because he goes first. Right, on their turn, the opponent acts. Yeah, okay. Yep. Rightmost flower card goes away. So this 2 value card goes away, sadly. Okay. Garden feature from the top of the deck. Place it in front of him. Okay. I'm going to cover that one because it doesn't matter. He gets a game end ability, +3 prestige if you have 4 artisan cards. Another great draw for me because he doesn't have any artisans, so he'll never be able to get more artisans. So that's great for me. He's not going to be able to score that one either. Okay. Take cards from the top of the flower deck equal to the number of visitors. 2 visitors, 2 flower cards. Okay. Good. He gets 1 architecture and 1 more flower. That's a bummer. Okay. So he's now tied with me on architecture. That sucks. But 2 of our visitors don't. Our 2 visitors don't want architecture, so I'm not competing with him on that. So that's good for this round. That might be different later. Okay, and then he discards, right? Yeah. Okay. He discards those. Okay, now it's my turn. Great. All right. So he didn't take the 2 flower cards that I want. And so I'm going to be gunning for this bowling green because it increases. Am I going to do that though? I think I have to because I'm just not getting flower cards and I don't want to spend the money on them. Even though its special ability doesn't help me. I want the allure in flower because it'll tie him. The path, it'll bring me up to 4 vista. So a vista visitor, I'd be 1 away. So that's good. I think I might be in a position to do that. It's not going to help me for my personal goals, unfortunately. It kind of does. Yeah, it'll help me on my personal goals. So yeah, bowling green's the way to go. Let's do that. Okay, so we're just going to spend both of our workers to go to the flower market. And we're going to get both of these free flower market cards. And that goes into my hand. So I can't do anything with that this round, but at the start of the next round, my first action will be to take a garden feature. Because I don't think it retires, does it? Well, hold on. Does it retire? Because that'll change things. Let's see. End of the round, your opponent will score the prestige. Garden features if applicable. Yeah. No, I don't think they retire them. It didn't happen the last time. It just fills in the ones that I took. Okay, great. So I'm not worried about this one being aged off. I was a little bit worried about that, but the rules don't state to cycle off the old ones. So we're going to leave that there. And that means this will be available to us next round because we're also first player. So he is not, he takes it off the top of the deck anyway. So like the game is clearly set up not to rob you of things you're going for. So that's good. Okay, that's the end of the round. So the end of the round, your opponent will score prestige, flower cards, and coins from the visitors. Oh, the visitors, right. Garden party, right. So it's him first. He's got no water and neither do I. So that person does not come to either of us. And I have more vistas than he does. So Therese comes to me. That's great. I love that. Okay. And none of his stuff scores. Also great. We're going to get to the flower cards and stuff for him in a moment. Oh, we did that already, I think. Didn't we? Prestige tracker. Score their points. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How did he earn one prestige? He earned one prestige from the visitor he got. He earned 2 prestige from the visitor he got. In this case, he's not getting a visitor, so he's not getting any prestige. This is good for me. Okay, great. So, oh, isn't that interesting? Well, knowing that Therese was coming over here, I'd get a +1 flower card. So let's resolve for Therese. Let's look at the visitor. Garden party. When visited abilities. Let's look at that for a minute. Visitor effects. Follow the instructions of visitor text result effect. If a visitor instructs a player to gain 1 or more flower cards, the flower cards may be taken from the top, face up, or drawn blind at no cost. Okay. Knowing that I was likely going to win Therese, I could have gambled that one of these cards was going to come to me. Because I know who's out. I could have made that call. So again, I'm a new player, so I'm going to retcon that. I'm going to go back a minute. And I now have a spare artisan that can help me do anything. So I'm going to go get 2 coins with that instead. Because I know that when Therese comes to visit me during the garden party, I'm going to get a coin and a flower card. And there's no chance of this guy having enough to beat me on that visitor. So that would have been a totally legitimate thing to gamble on. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get 2 coins instead of getting that flower from the market. So now that Therese comes to visit me, I now have 7 coins, and she gives me an 8th coin. More importantly, she's visiting me, and she likes vistas. And the ability is when visited, the temple gives 1 additional coin for each vista visitor you receive. Therese is a vista visitor, so I get 1 additional coin. So Therese gives me 1 coin, the temple gives me 1 coin. I'm now at 9 coins. Guess what I'm going to do next round? More importantly, I now get 1 flower card. So now the flower card that I spent an action to get before, I now gambled and successfully got from Therese. Because it wasn't really a gamble. I could kind of tell by looking at the allure on the player boards that there wasn't a chance that she was going to come visit anybody else. That was my logic for that. So Therese gave me my second card, my second flower card. Okay. So that was great. I got both cards that I needed. I only had to spend 1 action to do it because Therese was going to help me out. And I got coins. So I got lots of coins. So I got 2 extra coins from the action. And then I got 2 coins from the visit. So I now have $9. And I'm going to go visit the Artisan Guild next round and get a 3rd player in the 3rd round. Whew, that's great. That's great. And I rushed to do that. And that's wonderful. Okay. And now I'm also set up to tap both of my artisans and buy the bowling green at the start of the next round. Wonderful. Visitors get discarded, including anybody that didn't go anywhere. Didn't buy any of those. Those all shift to the right, and then 3 new cards come out. Oh, there's a $1 one finally. I like that a lot of the flower cards seem to be free, which is wonderful. Now that one that costs $1 has a wild symbol on it. So that's pretty cool. So we'll pull back our workers. Oops. I spent them from my spare workers. I should have spent them from my player board, but that's all right. Okay. What am I doing? And why is that? Oh, well, it is what it is. I'll have to fix that for next time. Okay. All right. Now the new player pawn comes to me. Did I miss any step in the refresh process? End of the round. Yeah, discard the remaining visitors, return artisan pawns, first player pawn, no grand soiree, end of the round abilities. I don't have any of the round, and neither does he that work. Character abilities, nobody's hit their character abilities yet. But they're going to soon, which I don't like. Yeah. Reset artisans. Did use them this round. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't. I don't think. I'm sure I'll hear about it if I do. All right, first player is me. So first things first, let's go get our new artisan. Am I going to do that? Yeah, I am. So that one, new artisan, $8 to hire a new one. Okay, we have $1 left. We're just going to put this in a pile over by the bag so that when people earn money later, I can just pull it from the pile. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about hiring another artisan because I don't know how many I get to draw in order to look at that. Artisans. Place, abilities, burden features, locations, Artisan Guild. If you have fewer than 4 artisans, pay 8 coins into the supply to draw an artisan card from the top of the deck. Place the artisan card in an empty artisan space in your chateau board. Take 1 pawn from the side of your chateau board, place it in the empty space. So I don't get to choose. Wow, I just get who I get. That sucks. Okay, 1 card. It sucks, but it's also fine. I may not like them, but that's fine. Draw 1 card. And we get, who do we get? Gardener. The Gardener. Flower Market. When placing this artisan, face-up flower cards cost 1 fewer coin. That's an excellent card. Plus, they help me buy flower garden features. That is excellent. And I wish I had them last round because I wouldn't have needed to spend so many cards. But that's okay because that's amazing. We're going to totally use that all the time. That was an excellent job. And the art. Can we talk about the art? Okay, so I now get that pawn. By the way, I get to use artisans the same round that I obtain them in, so I don't have to wait. Amazing. I get that pawn right now. So what am I going to do with him? Well, we already have more than enough to achieve. Yeah. Go on. Go on. Go on. Stop bumping the table. Okay. We're going to take our brand new gardener and we're going to visit the garden features. And we are going to tap all 3 of our artisans to contribute towards the purchase of the bowling green. I now only have to spend 1 flower card, so I'll do that. 1 flower card. And I have now paid in full for the new garden feature that I just picked up. When acquired, you may swap 1 flower card in your hand for 1 flower card in your target opponent's hand. There are no flower cards in my target opponent's hand, so I don't get that benefit, but I don't care. What I do care about is I go up to 4 on vistas, I go up 1 on paths, and I go up 2 on flowers. So that helps me out here. I'm at 1 of 3 of my goal for here. I'm at 2 of 3 for my goal here. And I'm 1 away from having enough allure of vistas in order to attract a vista visitor as a companion. So I am well on my way for my personal goals. I'm very happy with all of that. I still have 1 worker left. So what am I going to do? I think I should go get more flower cards. And I like that wild. I like that wild a lot. I have $1 left. Do I spend $1 on it? Dollars are hard to get. Well, let's look. That wild would help me out here. I don't have the ability to do that. I would take 4 cards, 4 more cards, because I don't have artisans that help me in that area either to do that. So it's probably better if I don't have any water features, so getting that 1 doesn't help me. I don't like the garden features that are out there, and I don't think you can top deck the garden features, right? Let's take a look. I can pay a coin if there are any. Huh. Interesting. That's good to know, but that's a lot. Garden features location to purchase 1 face up. Yeah, I can't top deck. I can refill. I can spend money to proactively refill empty spaces before I decide what I'm going to purchase, but I can't pay money to top deck in the garden features area like I can with flowers. So let's see. What am I going to spend this artist? I could get more money. I could gain prestige, which wouldn't be bad either. But I think I want the money because I'm not really feeling what's going on over here. The combination of flower cards, if I had more money, I'd be willing to spend it on that. And if I do that, the money will help me to eventually get my 4th artisan, which I definitely want. So all in all, I think all things being equal, I'm just going to spend $2 or spend on a worker to get 2 of my money back. And that be that for this round. Okay, so let's resolve. Let's see. Hold on 1 second here. Just want to see something. All right. Yeah, okay. Are we zoomed? Are we focused correctly? Let's take a look. Yeah, well, sort of. It's a little tighter. So sorry if that was a little blurry this whole time, but I think the zoom in view when I'm looking at cards is probably more important than the overall board state anyway, to be honest. Okay, so let's step through because I'm still just getting used to all the different steps. I don't want to miss it. Discard the rightmost flower card. Bye-bye. That's good. I had so many of those out in the first anyway. Take the garden feature card from the top of the deck. Okay. Oh, he gets a when acquired. And I believe he does actually get that. So he gets $2. Because he does gain money. Will score prestige, flower cards, and coins from visitors. I don't know what that score means, but that's fine. I think that just means gain. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Take cards from the top of the flower deck. If applicable, Note that rewards. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, now he takes 2 flower cards like before, because we still haven't passed 4 prestige. So he goes up 1. He goes up 1 in flower, which I don't like. Worse, he goes up 1 in architecture. So now he's beating me in architecture, which I don't like. But he didn't gain a visitor. That's important. Okay, end of the round. Everything slides down. And did the garden things slide down too? Slide all garden features down. Okay. Okay. Oh my. Let's maybe try for that. That's going to be hard though. These reset. Their pawns come back. Okay. I want this. What just came out is the Balustrade. Game end plus 1 prestige for every 3 architecture on your garden feature. I'm gunning for architecture anyway, even though I haven't been able to successfully get any yet. And it only requires 1 and 1 water feature. Let's see what flower card comes out. It is a wild. That's good for me. That could be my water feature card. If Jerkface over here doesn't eat it first. I don't think he does, though. He takes the rightmost card. Because the pawn goes to him next round. So, That's 2 wilds, though, and I have the money. It would be really nice to get that, because I'd be back to tying him on architecture, and then I can special invitation new visitors. Who's our new visitors for the round? A flower, not good, because he's beating me in flowers, and visits the player with the least total allure. I have 4, 6, 7, 8 to his 3, 6. So it's going to be him at the moment. He's going to gain flower cards, which is not altogether bad. I don't know if he's supposed to, if he gets a lure from them or not. I don't think so, because he says, Yeah. Oh, I see. Your opponent will keep all flower cards earned through visitors face down. Okay, great. So he will get flower cards, but they're face down, so they don't count towards his allure gain or his prestige gain, which is fine. I'm sure there's some scoring for it, but it's not going to like immediately hurt me. So far, unfortunately, he's going to gain both of those. And I don't think there's anything I can do to stop him. A special invitation wouldn't help the guy who's going to come to the least allure, because he breaks ties on that, because he's definitely got the least allure, so it wouldn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to ignore visitors this round, is what it is. He's going first. So what does he do? He takes the top. Let's see. He discards the rightmost flower card. Oh, wait, these don't scoot down. He just discards the card. They scoot down later. Okay, that's gone. He takes the garden feature to the top of the deck. Ooh. He's not romancing people anyway. Okay. Mm-hmm. Take cards from the top of the flower deck equal to the number of visitors. That sucks. Whew, he gets 2 path, 1 architecture, yikes, and 1 vista. I'm going to have to keep trucking here or he's going to pass me by. Those were terrible draws for him, for me, for him to draw me. Okay. Yeah, score the points. Slide all garden feature cards down. Okay, that's later. Okay, now it's my turn. Okay, well, that was not good all the way around. But let's stay on target. We are going to do what? Do I visit both the flower market twice for that? No. Yeah. I think I'm visiting the flower market twice. Okay. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, no. Yeah. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is the landscaper. And the landscaper says, flower market, before placing this artisan, you may restock each empty flower card space. So I'm going to restock. And that was a good thing I did, because I'm going to take that card for free. Because I need that for what I'm about to buy, which was a water feature card. It was a St. Christopher's Lily. That was great. That was a good use of an artisan. Okay, now for my second trick, I'm going to use my gardener to go to the flower market again. And his ability says, flower market, when placing this artisan face up, flower cards cost 1 fewer coin. So I'm going to take the rightmost wild flower card, which I'm going to use as architecture. And it's not going to cost me a dime because I use my gardener to go. It should have cost me $1, but it didn't, which I think is great. Okay, so that was my second trick. My third trick is I'm going to send my last artisan to the garden feature, and we're going to obtain the balustrada. And we're going to spend 1 wild and 1 water feature allure flower for the architecture and water requirements. So that card gives me a game end ability. I get 1 prestige at the end of the game for every 3 architecture on my garden features. So that is the same as my personal goal of getting 3 architecture to earn 1 coin for every 3 on my chateau. So that's a double benefit at this point. So I now go up 1 architecture, which ties me. No, he still wins. He's at 3. Hate that. And then 1 on water. Okay. So I'm now at 2. I need to get at least 3 for that. And I'm also at 2 flowers. I need to get at least 3 for that. So we're getting there. And I'm still frustratingly 1 away from being able to get a companion. And I still have 1 card left in my inventory. Okay, so these all shift to the right. Oh, wait, no, we're not resetting yet. We're resolving visitors. It won't matter. He's going to get 2 flower cards. Top deck face down. He gets 2 flower cards. I don't know what they are. And he gets an additional flower card from the other visitor. And he goes up 1 prestige. Hate that. That's the end of that. What I do think I appreciate so far is it's not an immediate runaway victory for the solo player. He's crawling to victory. So I can work with that. So we're going to do that and that. And then those are already shifted down. So there's that. What just came out, hey, that's nice. I only need one architecture, and I could get that. So what just came out is the summer house residence. When visited, architecture allure visitors require one fewer architecture to romance. So that's beneficial because it would get me much further. It would basically get me qualifying for my personal goals. And it would also give me the last remaining allure I need to be able to romance. That's a huge one for me. I'm going to try to get that. It's probably going to take me 2 turns to get. But since he's not fighting me on it, I can take my time and just get it whenever I want. So yeah, okay. So nobody has passed 4. Nobody has triggered the end of the game. So the workers all come back. I now have 3 workers, which is great. Artisans, rather. I didn't use anybody to buy anything, I don't think, this last round. No, but that's okay. Yeah, so new visitors come out. And I am first player. Hooray. Ooh. Flower, he's still winning in flower. Ooh, vistas. I'm still winning in vistas. And I get a flower card and a prestige out of it. That doesn't suck. Okay. I was really hoping. Well, all right. He's going to win on flowers. He's going to get a prestige and a coin, so we're going to still be in the same boat. He will trigger a 3rd visitor, which means he's going to start earning allure faster. I don't like that. Okay, so I want that wildflower. So we're going to take the gardener first, and we're going to go to the flower market. We're going to get the wild for free. This is good. So unfortunately, oh, that's right. Great. We can roll the dice. So we're going to take the landscaper and going to go back to the flower market. Before placing this artisan, you may restock each flower card. Empty flower space. Is that exactly what I wanted? No, it is not. I could top deck it. That's expensive. I would rather not. But if I manage to get an architecture card, which we have not seen at all, I'm beginning to doubt if there are any. Because we've seen a lot of flower cards so far, and I haven't seen a single one of them. I don't think, have we? Let's take a look. I'm curious. Oh, no, I have. There have been a few. I think he's just gotten them, unfortunately. Okay. I might top deck that. Well, we're going to go back because that's what I just said I was going to do. So I'm really hunting for an architect card, flower card. Because if I can get that architect flower card, I can get this summer house built this round. So let's do that. I don't want to spend $1, but here we go. We're going to top deck. Here we go. And victory is mine. I just got, on a blind draw, Angel's Trumpet, which is an architecture card. Great. And off we go to the garden feature. Hello, new viewer. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying it. We're going to take my last action, and I'm sending my last artisan to the garden features, and we're going to build the summer house residence. So let's pay for that. We're going to tap our painter, who's going to give us the 1 Vista requirement. We're going to spend this flower card, this architecture flower card. That will give us the architecture requirement, and we are going to tap the gardener, and we're going to spend the daisy to fulfill the 2 flower requirements. And that pays for the summer house. Now, summer house says, when visited, architecture visitors require 1 fewer architecture to romance. That's good for us because we're trying to get companions. Okay. That's a when visited. That's a when acquired. So that's already been scored. And this is game end. So I can worry about that in the future. But I'll put that over here. So this gains us 1 Vista allure. I am now capable of romancing a companion, which I may do. I think I can't do it this round because I need to send a special invitation. And there is Laya is out, and I could have romanced, send an invitation to romance her. But I can't do it now because I'm out of workers. And that's all right. The next one that comes up. So then architecture goes up 1. Now I'm at 3. So at the end of this round, and for every round following this, I will now gain 1 coin because I've achieved this objective. And 2 flowers. I'm up at 4. Therefore, now at the end of this round and every round that follows, I will gain 1 flower card because I have achieved that requirement as well. The only one left that I haven't achieved is my companion, and I am now in a position to achieve that as well at the next possible opportunity. So that is great. That was the perfect turn at the end of the day, for me anyway. So he now goes. He's going to discard the oldest flower card. He is going to top deck the garden features. He gets another game end ability, and this one is about, or game end scoring, and this one's about artisan cards as well. So it's another lucky draw for me because he doesn't get artisan cards. So I'm not going to get hurt by that either. We should resolve the garden party. That's true. I get Laya. Laya comes to me because I have 5 allure in the allure type that she wants, which is Vistas. And Madame Elise comes to George because George has more flower allure than me, I think. Maybe not. Ooh, George only has 3. I have 4. Guess what? I get that too. Okay, cool. So I get them both. I kept them away. I get 2 prestige. 1, 2. We are now tied. I get 1 flower card. And does that mean I top deck it? I don't remember. I'll have to look at that in a minute. But more importantly, I get a coin from Elise. And because I have the temple, I get a coin for Laya's visit as well. So I get 2 coins. I'm now at 4. Okay. So now I have to go and look up the flower visit again because I don't remember. I can take them either way. I can either top deck it or I take one from the available. Let's see what's out. I won't know what's going to fill up until at the end, but it would be nice. I could take that $2 2 green, and that would help me win Fish Pond. And I would actually qualify for Fish Pond by building the Fish Pond. So, because those are the 2 that I'm the weakest in. So maybe we aim for the Fish Pond. It wouldn't take much to get there. I would need two water flower cards, but I already have the 2 green resolved. So I could just top deck this. I also have the one wild card in my hand already. I'm not going to top deck that, but we could take that because it's worth $2 and I get it for free. So I think that makes the most sense. Okay, so that's the flower card. That's the 2 visitors. Both resolved. Okay, these slide down. 2 more come out. Because this is the end of the round stuff. Hey, look at that. Another $2 card. And 1 blue and 1 green, which is what I need for Fish Pond, which is paths and water features. My artisans untap, so they're ready to use for next round. We've refilled, and now neither one of us are at 4 prestige yet, so we're still only drawing 2 cards for George. But those are 2 great draws for George. Oh, that kills me. 1, 2, 1, and 1. Ooh, that's brutal. I was really hoping he might get some water because it wouldn't impact me at all. And those are both double allure cards he drew. Brutal. That was just a brutal draw. Twice now. It is what it is. I'm doing okay against him at the moment, but I would like to be doing a lot better. And those double draws are killing me. He got two $2 coin cards twice now in 2 different rounds. So it's getting pretty hot in here. Okay. Now, none of these, I should be scoring these, but none of them are mattering at the moment. And I know what these are. These are all when acquired or game end or other things. So that's why I've had them stacked the way I have them, because it's not, I don't have to manage them right now. Okay, so he is at 3. So he gains a flower card face down. He is also at 3 vistas, so he gains a coin. Don't like any of that. He doesn't have $8 yet, so I don't worry about that. For me, at the end of the round, I do have 3. I have actually 4 flowers, so I get a flower card. Ooh, that's right. Before I do anything, I think I get the choice. Of a flower card. I think that's true all the time. In fact, I know it is. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to take this card that I need. I'm not going to spend the $2 on it. So that's good. Pretty sure that's right. I can take that from anywhere. Does it refill? End of the round. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Okay. If a visitor instructs a player to gain 1 or more flower cards, those flower cards may be taken from the face-up flower cards or drawn from the flower deck at no cost. But at this point, we're talking about the end of round stuff. Starting with the player at the first player pawn, each player in turn order resolves the ability, text, and garden features they had at the end of the round. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't specifically say in this section, but because the other section says that, I'm just going to take the card. I can't find it specifically in the rules, but the other part of this, the rules do say that. So that's what I'm going to go on. It's the same set of rules. Okay, I'll clarify that on BGG later with the developers. But that seems reasonable. If it says it one place, it's probably the truth for everywhere else. It just means that we now have less cards to draw from at the end of the game. Okay, so I got my flower. Now, at the end of the round, I also gain 1 coin for every 3 architecture allure. I'm at 3, so I get 1 coin. So that's $5. 3 more, and I get my last artisan. Okay, new visitors. Edouard gives me +2 if I win the architecture, which we are tied for, so I would need to spend an invitation to achieve that. Assuming he doesn't swoop in at the end and get me. First player comes back to me. No, I was first player last round. And then Marie, he's definitely going to win on Marie because he's at 5. Does the solo romance when possible? Probably. I would imagine so. That actually doesn't say anything about romancing. Interesting. Okay. Well, I am not going to treat it like he romances anybody, so that's great. So he's definitely going to win that, and we're going to tie for Eduardo if I don't special invitation him. So I should special invitation him. That urn pedestal that just came out would be amazing. I just don't have the buying power for that, though. Since he's not competing with me on garden features that are out and they don't age off, I just need to buy it when I can. So let's get the fish pond done because we're capable of doing that quickly. He takes, but it's his turn. So he takes the oldest one and discards it, or the rightmost one. He then top decks the garden features. When visited, flower visitors require 1 fewer to romance. Again, he doesn't romance. So these are great draws for me that he's getting these particular cards. Okay. And what is it? What else does he do? I'm trying to memorize it, but it's hard. What else does he do? Oh, the flower cards, because he goes up on a lure. Yeah. Okay. So he draws still 2 visitors, so he gets 2 cards. Oh, man, he just keeps getting double draws. This is killing me. 1, 2. So now he's winning now on... Oh, no, he's just tied with me on Vistas, which I hate. And now he goes up 1 there and 1 there. Whoa, he's just solidifying his flower lead. Okay. Brutal, but okay. Okay, now it's my turn. Okay, so we're going to get the fish pond done. I think we can just do that right now. This is going to be our special invitation. We're going to do that last. Both of these are flower market, and I'm not going to the flower market this round. I might, but I doubt it. So we are going to, if we're going to do that, that means we should spend the gardener on the garden feature step because it's more important to have those filled back in again, which is what the other guy lets me do. So we're in garden feature. We're going to build the fish pond. Fish pond, of course. Here's the fish pond. So it's a game end. If you have 2 or more of each allure type, gain 3 prestige. And I will have that when I build this. So in order to pay for that, we are going to use that card. We're going to tap our landscaper artisan to contribute 1 more green. And we're going to spend this wild card on the last water feature requirement. So that pays for that card. Okay, so those are discarded. And this comes out. This is another game ender, so we're just going to stack that here. Yeah, that's game end, game end. Okay. Okay. Just having to get creative with space here because there's a lot of cards. Okay. Okay, so I did that. I only have one card left. I could get more cards, but I think it's probably better to get coins right now. Let's try to get our fourth artisan. So we're going to go here. We're going to get 2 coin. So now we are at 7. Yeah. And then for our last worker, we're going to go to special invitation. And I have a special ability. Before placing this artisan, you may look at the top 3 cards of the visitor deck and may add one of them to the face-up visitors. Well, here's the problem. If I special invite this guy, if I special invite one of them, the other one will go to Captain George. And if I invite any one of these guys to also show up on the board, then he will definitely get these 2. So this is a net negative for me. I'm going to say no, because I'm not winning in any of the areas where those would benefit me and not him. So instead, I'm just going to go with my original plan, which is to send a personal invitation to Eduardo. And because he did not do that or can't do that, I will win that tie. Keeping the prestige away from him and giving it to myself. Okay. Okay. Let's resolve then. He's the first player marker, so he goes first. He gets the top deck garden feature. Ooh, boo, brutal. Now I do have to track him. So for the stuff he has, I do have to track. I'm going to stick that over here underneath his flower cards, because that just tells me I need to look at that every time. And then I'm not going to resolve these yet because I'm actually doing it out of order. I should resolve the garden party first. So that's what's going to happen. And he's going to come here and he's going to gain a coin and a flower card. So he gets a 3rd flower card. And he got a coin. Okay. And then this guy does come to me because I broke ties with my special invitation. So that comes back. And that gives me 2 prestige. 1, 2. So now we will get 3 visitors from here on out, which means he's going to score a lure faster than me now. I have to be careful, but nothing to be done about it. Okay. Okay, so the visitors go away. Flower cards come to George. Something tells me I'm going to regret that. We'll find out how he scores later. And that visitor was an architecture visitor, not so I didn't get the benefit from the temple, unfortunately. But that's okay. That is okay. Oh, I haven't been doing events. Let's do events. I should have been doing events this whole time. So, event cards come out, making our lives a lot more interesting. But that's okay. This is what we forget about on our first game. During this round, each player may purchase a garden feature for 1 fewer allure. Ooh. Well, Isn't that delightful? I've been making my life harder and didn't even realize it. Okay, slide down and refill. New one that came out is Viewing Bench. When visited, gain 1 coin for each water visitor you receive. Huh. I don't think that helps me all that much. I think the urn pedestal definitely helps me a lot more. Yeah. Interesting. So the flowers scoot down and refill. And before I draw the visitors and move on, we do have to resolve the end of round benefits. So Captain George gets 1 flower card because he's got 3 in pathing. He also gets 1 coin because he's got 5 in allure. He will get another coin here shortly for that, but not right now. And he still doesn't have $8, so he doesn't gain a prestige. Me, I get 1 flower card because I have 3 flower in allure. Not a very good draw, but I'll take it, I guess. I also get an additional coin because I have 3 in architecture allure. Guess what? I just got enough money from my last artisan, so we'll be doing that this round. And I don't have a companion, so I don't get the prestige yet. Okay, new visitors. And now it is I go first next round. We have a water and, oh, Josephine is my new companion. Josephine gives me 2 prestige every round for the rest of the game, which means no matter what, I'm at 5 prestige, so it'll be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go for 3 more rounds no matter what, assuming I get no other prestige. Maybe even 2 extra rounds, because this round counts. This game's about to be over. And I will gain actually 3. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So probably 3 rounds. 3 rounds, and this game is over. Okay. I need a special invite, Josephine. I need to do that anyway. And it's first turn, so I'm first to act. So we're going to take the painter, and we're going to go to the special invitation. Painter's special ability is, before placing this artisan, you may look at the top 3 cards of the visitor deck and may add 1 of them to the face up. So we'll see. Okay, so who we drew are these fine folks. Bolin gives me 1 prestige and 1 flower card if they visit. We are both tied, so that person will not be visiting. Neither will Henrietta, so we can ignore that. He's going to win if I let this person show up, and I don't want that to happen. And I'm going to win. No. This person would not show up. I would be able to romance either Sophie or Josephine. And I prefer Josephine's ability because it's a flat 2 for no action. So we're going to romance Josephine. And we're not going to have any one of them show up because they would only benefit my opponent. So my special invitation goes to Josephine, which breaks the tie between our 2 allure. So Josephine will come visit me, and I will then be able to invite them to become my companion, which will be my last personal benefit. Okay, so that was my first action. Second action, we have some options. What are we building? We're trying to build this, but we're not getting the flowers for it. And there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I could top deck it again. And I'd be able to top deck it for free if I use my gardener. So I think there's no harm in doing that. So we're going to take my gardener and we are going to, for one face up flower cards for one fewer coins. Is that what I want to do then? Hold on. Do I just want to let those age off? Well, let's look. Can I build anything this round with who I have? Yes. I could get a cheap card, could get a free card, and burn it to build this viewing bench, which would increase my allure in vistas, which would break the tie. It would tie him up. No, it wouldn't. It'd still be pursuing him in the other two benefits. I would technically be above him in water, which would be good to have, although he'll probably fix that for himself here soon, as soon as he draws some more cards. You know what I did? The 3 cards that I drew, 2 of them were his allure cards. The one he gained just goes on the stack. These 2 are his allure cards. I drew them early. That's how he goes up. And so he goes up here and here. He's now beating me. That was the end of the round. You know what? I don't know that that's true. I just don't know that that's true. I'm just going to ignore that because I think I now am not remembering whether or not I drew his cards or not, his numbers or not. So we're just going to leave that as it is. That might have been a benefit for me. I might have missed that. If that was a mistake, I apologize. I'm not confident that I didn't just double him up. So I'm just going to leave that as it is. Okay. Okay, I'm just concerned that I missed that, but that's all right. I could build that. I mean, there's no harm in it. Do I want to burn cards for it though? Everything requires water right now, and it's driving me up a wall. I really want to get this built, but I guess I should just get cards for that purpose alone. I have I'll just get one flower card randomly and in the hopes. Or I could top deck it, pay $1 to top deck it. I don't really want to spend the money. I know. Let's just go get the artisan. That's what we do next. We're going to take the landscaper and we're going to pay $8. And we're going to get our artisan, our 4th artisan. Monumentous occasion. Who do we get? Oh, water, which is so great for me, actually. Sculptor. Special invitation. Before placing this artisan, you may discard 1 face-up visitor card and draw a new one. That's useful. But for this round, we're going to use him for his water ability, which is so good. Now we can outright buy the viewing bench for free. So we're going to take his 4th pawn, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He is going to take this viewing bench for free because it requires 1 path, 1 water, and 1 vista, all of which I have from my artisans. So I'm going to tap all 3. They were used to buy this viewing bench outright. So that goes up 1 water, up 1 path, and up 1 vista. So now I am above him in water, which means I will win Henriette during the garden party, and I have invited Josephine, so Josephine will break ties and come to me too. Oh, and I did forget that during this round, each player may purchase one garden feature for one fewer allures. So, what will we do instead? I have one more worker. I could, instead of paying the water, I could just pay these two because one of them was free and leave my water available for a second purchase. So I think I'm going to do that. I am going to go. Am I going to do that? I could go get some more coins. I could go get some cards. Let's make sure I'm right here. I think I am. So there's no point, there's no reason not to, is the key. So I'm going to take him, I'm going to come here, and I'm going to spend this double green. I'm going to overpay slightly. I'm going to pay an extra green. I'm going to tap the water artisan. I'm going to pay this double green, and I'm going to build the bridge. It's an end game ability. If you have 4 or more water allure, then gain 2 prestige. I can probably get there by the end of the round, or at the end of the game. So I did that. But more importantly, I go up 1 on water and 1 on path, which puts me at 3 for all of those 3, architecture, water, and path. And at the moment, that means that we are tied for path and architecture, and I'm winning by 2 on water. Okay, that's the end of the end of the round. Garden party time. Josephine, we are tied on allure, or sorry, Vista allure. Oh no, I'm actually flat winning now because I built the bench. I didn't actually have to invite her. I did it first, so I kind of wasted it, but I wasn't sure I was going to get it done, so that's fine. The waste of a turn, but that's okay. So Josephine comes to me. I had to special invite anyway in order to romance, so it wasn't a wasted effort. I needed to do that regardless. So Josephine is now my permanent companion, and I gain 2 prestige because she's visiting me now. Great. So we'll put that there for now. Okay, so that was my 1. And then George only has 1 allure in water to my 3. So I win Henrietta. Henrietta gives me a coin and a flower card. What's out? I'm tempted to top deck that flower card. Yeah, I'm going to top deck it. I really want to try to get that architecture if I can. And I did. I top decked the Kenilworth Ivy, which is 1 architecture and 1 water allure. So that's wonderful because that's going to give me everything I need. Almost everything I need. Not quite, but close to get that urn built. Okay. So that takes care of Henrietta. Now Josephine stays with me now because Josephine's my companion. So now we move down and we retire the old. And we slide the old over. Oh, he needs to take his turn, actually. So he top decks this. Game end, you have 2 more of each allure type, gain 3 prestige. So in fact, it's not a guarantee. So let's top deck his cards. Oh, wilds. What does he get for wilds? The lowest or the highest? What does he do for wilds? Oh, I finally got that rule. Let's find out. There it is. For each wild, gain the allure type that appears most frequently among the visitors. Well, it was water type and architect or in vistas. Okay. If tied, choose the one that was displayed first. If none, your opponent gains any allure from the wild. Doesn't gain any allure. Okay. Well, what was displayed first was Henrietta, which was water, which was 2. So he goes up 2 water, which ties him. So Henrietta actually didn't visit me. So that means I didn't actually top deck this, which is a bummer. I'm not going to allow myself to see that card, so I'm just going to bury it. That sucks. But it also means that this, well, I did retire them. Take that back because I top decked that card. That sucks. And what else did she give me? She gave me 1 coin. So I take the coin away. She didn't choose to go anywhere because we were tied. Ah, that sucks. But that's why you do things in the right order. Oh well. Oh well, should have looked at that a little better. Okay. Well, I untap all of my artisans, and my 4th artisan comes back. I now have 4 artisans. Huzzah. More importantly, though, Henrietta didn't come to him, so that's okay. 3, huh? Wow, we are pretty well aligned on where our... and more importantly, Josephine did come to me because I still have more. He didn't draw Vista, which is really what I was worried about. Okay. Okay, I think that's it because I did everything else. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's resolve our end of round benefits. He gains, for every 3 path, he gains 1 flower card. For every 3 vista, he still only has 1 set of 3. He gains a coin. He still doesn't have $8. Great. I gain a flower card. For every 3 flower, I have 4. So I gained a Vista card, not the card as good as the card that I drew before. I guess I top decked it, so that's what it is. I could have drawn that too, but that's fine. I didn't think of it, so there we are. And I do gain a coin for my architecture, so I do get that coin at least. And finally, at the end of the round, gain 1 prestige if you have a companion. So I'm up to 8. So now we get 4 visitors out. Oh, that meant actually he gains 3. And that means he's up here. That sucks. Okay. I meant to do that earlier. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Ooh. Well, crucially, we're still tied on architecture. So both of them aren't going to come anywhere unless they come to either of us, unless I special invite one of them. And I may. Marie Catherine visits the player with the least prestige. With the least prestige, that's the opponent. Gains 1 coin and 1 prestige. And then the Theopoly, you may pay 1 coin to gain 2 prestige. I'm gonna buy him off. That's amazing. He's winning there. So at the moment, those aren't terrible. I don't mind that. but we don't know what his turn's going to be. And he gets to go first, so we'll find out. Let's see. Let's see. Well, we know he's going to take, on his turn, he's going to take the top there. Okay, for every 3 water on my garden features. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he gets 2 prestige at the end of the game so far for the pond that he just drew. He is eating the last card, and he gains 1, 2, 3, 4 flower cards. Brutal. Okay, he's going to start to surpass me really fast. He gets 1 architecture, 2, or 1 there, and 1 there. Oof. Not good. Not good. I need to get some architecture built, because now he's going to win all of them. I need to get that built this round if I possibly can. I don't know how that's going to happen. He's probably going to get all of those visitors. Oh boy, I need to hurry up here. Trigger the end of this game. He's going to win if I'm not careful. Okay, flowers scoot down. Oh wait, no, flowers don't scoot down yet. I don't even know what those were, but that's where we are. Now it's my turn. I was thinking it's the end of the round, but it's not. My turn. What am I going to do about him? I just don't have the cards. I could go get the cards, of course. They cost $2 a piece, though, and I only have $1. Ooh, okay, well, I could use my landscaper first. Let's do that. Let's use my landscaper, because he lets me restock flower cards. So we're going to restock flower cards. Only one of them is free. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, I guess we're going to have to do what we got to do, right? All right, so he's going to take the free card. Because, again, I'm just trying to get cards so I can do the 2-for-1 deal. And so, for my second trick, I'm going to take my gardener. My gardener, when placing this artisan, face-up flower cards cost 1 fewer coin. Yeah, interesting. Hold on 1 second. I need to pull up something. Okay, we're going to come here. We're going to come there. Okay, there we go. All right. All right. So, so here's what I'm debating. I'm debating, do I spend the 1 coin for one of the 2 cards that are out there? Or do I spend 1 coin to top deck and hopefully get an architecture card? If I do that, I spend 1 less card overall if I manage to draw that. Of the 2 cards that are out that are worth of the 3 cards that are out that are worth $2, none of them really help me in building the urn pedestal, which is what I really want to get built. So I'm going to top deck it for $1. And I got it. I got I've been getting really good draws on this. I got an Alpine Clematis, and that is just a 1 architecture flower card, which is perfect for what I'm going for. Okay, so I want to, that's interesting. I want to use my painter to go to the garden features. We are going to now attempt to pay for the urn. We are going to tap the gardener for 1 flower allure. We're going to spend 1 flower allure card. We are going to spend 1 architecture allure card. So now we're at 2 flower, 1 architecture. And then we're going to spend 2 of any 1 card to make the one that I'm missing, which is my second architecture. So I spent 4 cards and 1 artisan to build the urn pedestal. Oh, hello, Kliak. Okay. Thank you for coming in, friendo. Okay, so at the end of the game, if I have 4 plus flower allure, I gain 2 prestige. Well, at the moment, I do have 4 plus, so I will score that at the end of the game. But more importantly, I go up 2 in my flower allure, and I go up 2 in my architectural allure, and that puts me almost tied with him at 7. He's at 7, I'm at 6 flower allure, and I've just passed him on the architectural allure. These 2 visitors will now come visit me, assuming, oh no, he went first, so that's true. I am the second to act, so they will come visit me because I just beat him, just barely, just now, at that goal. And I will now, for the rest of the game, earn 3 flower cards, or no, I will get an additional flower card at the end of every round because I've successfully completed 2 of this personal goal. So it says at the end of every round, gain 1 flower card for every 3 flower allure at my chateau. I currently have 6 flower allure, so I will gain 2 cards at the end of this round. And every round afterward. Huzzah. Okay. Okay, so I did that. I still have people left. We're gonna get these for free. My water is not tied, so he's gonna definitely win Theophily here. And Catherine's gonna come to him no matter what because he has less prestige than me. Prestige or victory points in this game. So I can't do anything about these 2, and I just stole them away. So there's no point in doing a special invitation. I could, yeah, but that could benefit him, and I'm not going to chance that. I don't have any money left. I need money. Well, here's the thing. Josephine, at the end of the round, is going to earn me, she's my companion. She's going to earn me 2 prestige, and then I'm going to gain an additional 1 prestige because she satisfies, me having a companion satisfies my last personal goal of 1 prestige. So I'm going to get 3. That means I'm going to be at 11. I think it's better to come up here and gain 1 prestige with my last worker to put me at 12, which triggers the end of the game, rather than playing 1 more round and letting him get another full round with benefits to try to win. I'm going to try to rush the end of the game. So we're going to go prestige. We're going to gain a prestige. We're now at 9. That's my last worker. Can't take any more actions. So let's resolve the garden party for this round. He has 4 architecture to my 5. So that means these 2 gentlemen come visit my garden party. He has less prestige than me. He has 3 prestige to my 9. And therefore, Catherine comes to him. He has a higher water allure than me, so Theophily comes to him. He has the first player marker, so he resolves first. He can pay a coin to gain 2 prestige, so he will do that. He pays 1 of his coin, he goes up 1, 2 prestige. The player with the least prestige gains 1 coin, so he gets that coin back, jerk, and he gains 1 prestige. Just like that, he's at 5 prestige to my 9. That resolves his visitors. Mine. Both are visiting architecture, so they don't trigger any of my when visited benefits, sadly. But one gives me 1 prestige, huzzah. One gives me a coin. One gives me a flower card. Okay, I guess I'll take a flower card. And one gives me another flower card. Okay, guess I'm taking a flower card. Great, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So that was the garden party. That's done. End of the roundy. These come down. These come over. Now, one of the things the rulebook says is check to see if the grand soiree has been triggered. The grand soiree is the end of the game. Is that at the end, though? Looks like it might be at the end. Okay, end of round abilities. I don't have any. I mean, I guess this is technically end of the round, and that's when acquired. I have a lot of game end and a lot of visited, but no end of the rounds. He wasn't visited by any path people this last round, so he didn't gain anything there. Okay. End of the round, though. Let's do end of round benefits. I have 6 flower allure, so I get 2 flower cards. Great, love that. I have 5 architecture, so I only get 1 coin, not 2, because I needed 6 to get 2. That's all right. And at the end of the round, I gain 1 prestige for having a companion and 2 prestige from my companion itself, because that's what Josephine gives me. 1, 2, 3, puts me at 13. He's at 5 path, so he gets a flower card, 1 flower card. At the end of the round, gain 1 coin for every 3 vista. He's got 5 vista, so he gets 1 coin. He's at $7. The last one doesn't apply because he doesn't have 8+ coins yet. I've managed to keep him away from that so far. Okay, so I've taken care of that. Let's return my pawns. I don't think it matters because I think we're moving on to the end of the game here, but we'll see. We'll see. I've never played this game. This is a brand new game. Brand new game. Untap my artisans. Okay. Okay. Character abilities. Did that. Did that. Okay. If no player has scored 12 or more prestige, the next round of play begins. If one or more player has 12 or more prestige, me just now, the Grand Soiree round begins. Play proceeds to the start of the round step, but this will be the final round of the game. The game concludes at the end of the Grand Soiree round. See end of game. Okay, let's see end of game just for a second. See once what we have. The end of the game is triggered when any player has 12 or more prestige. The game ends after the final round. Garden features with game end abilities. Start with the player with the first player pawn. That's going to be me. Haha. Okay. Each player gains 1 prestige for every 8 coins they have. I will not get 8 coins in 1 round. He might, though. Each player gains 1 prestige for every 3 flower cards they have remaining in their hand. Well, I have 4. So unless I get 2 more, well, maybe I will. I don't know. The host of the Grand Soiree. The player with the most prestigious is declared the host of the Grand Soiree and wins the game. If there is a tie, the tied player... am I still working? I think my mic is still working. Yeah. You would have said so by now. Yeah, it's still on. Good. There is a ton of time. Okay, yeah, okay, great. Okay, one more round, and then we call it a day. Okay, first player comes back to me. I go first. When acquired, you may steal 1 coin from a target opponent. You bet your ass. I'm totally building that. He's going to get 1 less victory point if I have anything to say about it. Okay, worst part here is we have 1, 2, 3 visitors on top of the current 2. So we have 5 visitors coming out, which means Jerkface Solo McGee is going to get 5 allure gained, 5 allure from cards gained at the end of the round. I'm really, really hoping that it's not going to mess me up here, but here we go. Well, he's totally going to win these 2, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get that up to, and I have no idea what he's going to draw either, so I'm really behind on that. I might get this as long as I can hold it. He's only 1 below, and he's absolutely going to win that. Well, maybe, unless I can get some stuff drawn here. The easiest thing for me to build, could I possibly build 2? Let's take a look. I do have a bunch of cards. If I have 4 or more, I might be able to do that actually. I would gain 2 prestige if I got this built. That would essentially secure my lead in getting these 2. There's nothing I can do about the greens. Those are coming to him. And I don't care as much about the flower. I don't think there's anything I could do there. He's going to get the coins. So me building this is actually less impressive. But hold on. Let's see. I could build that, I think. I have 1 red. I have 1 green. I have another green, and then I'd have to spend that for the last red. I'd just be able to build this, and that's all. And if I did that, I would tie him for the greens, which would be good for me because it would keep 2 prestige away from him, assuming that on his turn, and that's a big if because he gets to draw 5 cards. So I don't know that me trying to stop him from anything is actually the way to go. I think instead I'm better off building things for my own benefit for end of game scoring and then try my best. I should try to build this. I'd get 3 prestige for having 4 artisans, which I currently do have. I have the water and the green. I could build that for cheap. That's what I should do. So that's what I'm going to do. That's dumb. I don't know why I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Garden feature. Let's build this courtyard. Let's build this courtyard. Let's take a look. So the courtyard takes 2 blue. I'm going to tap my sculptor for 1 blue. I'm going to spend this, I'm going to overspend slightly and use the blue from that card. And then I'm going to tap my landscaper for the last green. Yeah, I tapped the water, I got the water, and I got the green. So that's that. That discards. And now I will get 3 victory points at the end of the game, which is coming up right now. So that was 1 action. I still have 3 cards left. And I have a flower artisan and a vista artisan, neither of which really help me. Could I get this built? Let's see. Let's take a look. Can we manage to get this built? The artificial ruins. I'd get 2 prestige from that. So I could spend this card for one of the Vista Allure. I could tap my Painter for the second one. And then I could spend this card for one of the red. Okay, so I can't because I need one more card. So before I do this, I'm going to leave that on the board because what you can see on the top of the board behind those cards is the flower market. So I'm going to spend my gardener worker to go to the flower market. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm going to spend my landscaper to go to the flower market because the landscaper lets me restock empty card spaces. No, that doesn't make any sense. I was right the first plane. We're going to use the gardener. Gardener lets me pay one less coin. I have 2 coins, one for each of you. So do I want either of those 2 coins? I don't think I do. I could top deck it though. Could spend a coin to top deck it and see what I get. Might be a great benefit. I think, do I do that or do I try to hoard my cash for victory points? I think I try to hoard my cash for victory points because I don't need, I'll take the blue. Okay, I don't need to top deck that. So now that I've done that, I take my 2 remaining cards and I spend them as wild to make 1 wild. And that gives me my last remaining cost. So the person who's going to build that for me is my sculptor. He's going to go to the garden feature and he's going to build that for me as well. So I spend all these cards. These all get discarded. I have to hand it to this solo mode. That's a huge deck of flower cards, and we've seen over half the deck in this game. That is great. And I have a ton of stuff built. So that feels good too. Okay. So we've got 2 things built. We went to the flower market once. I think it makes most sense. Oh, wait, 2 things built, but I didn't change my allure. So let's take a look at what I gained here. These are the 2 things that I built. So let's update my allure. I get 2 water, so now I'm at 5. I get 2 architecture, so now I'm at 7. I get 2 vistas, now I'm at 8. And I go up 1 on my paths. Okay. Now I'm doing really good. Let's take a hard look at now, assuming what he's got built. He's not going to catch me on a lure. That doesn't help me for the visitors, but that's okay. He might catch me if he gets enough architecture in the card draws, maybe, but that's a hard stretch. I'm not going to beat him on flower, so he's going to get the 1 flower visitor. There's no water visitors, and still got me beat on paths. So my only hope here is to hold out and try to get this. Okay, so my last action, I'm just getting 1 prestige to try to get ahead of him as much as I can. I think that just makes the most sense. So we're going to go up 1 more prestige. That's the end of my turn. Let's see what he does. He's going to top deck the garden. When visited, gain 1 coin for each flower visitor. He's going to get 1 flower visitor just now, so that's actually going to benefit him. And he's going to gain, he's going to gain 3 coins this round. Brutal. Okay, well, that's fine. It is what it is. He kills the last flower card, which doesn't matter. He gains 5 flower cards. Here he comes. He's going to come nail me now. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, God. He is killing me. Okay, this is what he drew. This is all the allure he gains this round. And he managed to draw 3 architecture allure. 1, 2, 3. We're at 7. And I'm at 7, so he pushes. And there's no invites, so these will not visit anybody now. I guess that's good. It didn't benefit me, but it sure as hell didn't benefit him. That's good. He gets 2 water. 1, 2, 3. So so the water didn't matter, but he's up there. He gets 1 architecture, that means he's not pushing me there, and he gains 1 on the path. So so good news is nothing has changed. I just get less benefit, but nothing has changed. He's not getting any more benefit than he had before. So that's good. Okay, that's that. Whew, brutal. Let's get this thing scored. Oh, end of round stuff. I am at 6, so I get 2 flower cards. I don't know that that matters a whole lot, but here we are. I am at 7, so I get 2 coins. And I have 3 prestige. 1, 2, 3. He is at 6, so he gets 2 flower cards. He is at 6, so he gets 2 coins. And now he is over 8, so he gains 1 prestige. Okay, now I think we just go into endgame scoring. Yeah. Okay, endgame scoring. What does he do? Let's just get him scored first. Once one player at the end of the game, add your opponent's bonuses from flower cards, 1 prestige per flower card. Oh, per 3 flower cards. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 prestige. Okay, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. That wasn't as bad as I thought he would be, but that's all right. So he goes there. Okay. 1 prestige per 8 coins. He goes up 1 prestige. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm going to win, but we're going to see by how much. In fact, I know I'm going to win because I've already passed him on prestige, but let's find out. So let's score me because now I'm just curious how it goes. What I'm doing right now is I'm getting all of my game end garden features, and we're going to just run through them. So at game end, if you have 2 or more of each allure type, gain 3 prestige. I do. That's 3 prestige. 1, 2, 3. At the end of the game, 1 prestige for every 3 architecture on my garden features. I have 7, so that's 2 prestige. If you have 4 plus Vista prestige, gain 2, or allure, gain 2 prestige. I have 8, so I gain 2 prestige. Plus 3 prestige if you have 4 artisans. I have 4 artisans, so I gain 3. 1, 2, 3. If you have 4 plus flower, I have 6. I gain 2 prestige. I gain 2 prestige. And if you have 4 plus water features, gain 2 prestige. I have 5, so I gain 2 prestige. 31, just on that. So let's talk end of game just for a minute. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. Oh yeah, that's what he said. He said, yeah, did that. Every 8 coins. I do not have 8 coins. 3 flower cards. I only have 2, so I don't get that. And that's it. So I beat him 31-12. The solo challenge, win with 20 plus prestige. I've done that. Win with 10 plus coins. I did not do that. Win and be the player to trigger the final round. Did that. Win with 2 allure types at 10 plus. Did not do that. Win with all your allure types at 5 plus. Did not do that. It was 1 low. 1 low. Win with 6 fewer garden features at the end of the game. 6 or fewer. No, definitely did not do that. Win with 7 plus flower cards in your hand at the end of the game. Did not do that at all. Only had 2. Win with 30 plus prestige. Barely. 31% or 31 prestige. Win with only 2 artisans. Nope. Win without ever activating your character's abilities. Nope. Okay, so there you go. That gives you a flavor of the type of thing that you can, the type of challenges you can go for in the solo mode of Fleur. In short, okay, look, I know we've been streaming for a while. It's pretty late, but I'll spend a little less time than usual wrapping this up. This has a lot more going for it in terms of the systems that interplay and the different kinds of things you can. I thought I was going to build a lot fewer of these at the end of by the end of the game. I thought I was going to see a lot less cards. You see a lot in this game as you go. You have the ability to do a lot. And I know that some of the things that the regular multiplayer game will have in it, the solo player wasn't doing a lot of that, like companions and things like that. But I think this is a reasonable solo mode. I think the solo mode is a little lacking in terms of its like human analogness. I think there's certain things that just they don't do, you know, that human players do. And I thought there'd be a lot more scoring with the types of cards that it got. And of course, I should probably score these to see if he wins. I should just realize that he does have end of game scoring. So I didn't do that. So let's just run through them real quick. Yeah. 1 prestige for every 3 water. He did. Okay. I don't think he's going to win, but if you have 2 or more of each allure type, he does gain 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 prestige if you have 4 artisan cards. That doesn't count for him, and 4 artisan cards. Okay, so like for example, he doesn't get artisan cards, so the buildings that let him score for artisans, he just doesn't score. Doo-doo. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like there's just some things, and like this one, which is like end of round, get coins, right? He would have gotten coins, but he doesn't get any artisans throughout the game. So there's things like that I really wish the solo player would experience, so that it would feel more like playing against a human. But all in all, I mean, honestly, the other things that he does gives you that same chase, and I definitely felt the pressure of keeping up with him throughout the entire game. So from that perspective, I think the solo mode is great. And what you lack in the humanness of the solo player, you gain in the efficiency, and you still get the pressure. So I feel like it really works really well. And not having to go back and forth between my action, his action, more action, his action, that lets you keep your strategy in your head a lot more. The couple things I did keep forgetting, which was the event cards. I only did 1 event card this entire game. I should have been doing them every round other than the first round. Just kept forgetting. So that was just an overall miss throughout the whole game. And like, let's take a look at these. Each player may discard 1 artisan and draw a new one, right? All artisan abilities cannot be activated this round, right? So that would have been an impactful one. Once during this round, each player may purchase 1 garden feature on their turn without placing an artisan there. So most of these cards would have benefited me, not hurt me. So I think net-wise, this was actually more difficult to play without the events, just sampling those few event cards. But at the end of the day, I still managed to eke out a victory, so I feel pretty good about that. I would 1,000% play this game anytime. I feel like this game is up there. It's probably in my top 50, maybe top 30 games so far right now. If I just had to take a swing at it, it's really well balanced. The art, the theme, the thematic integration, which you know if you watch my channel, is a big thing for me because it helps me to learn a game. I hadn't seen the rule book almost at all on this game until mostly today. My week has been crazy. I just have not had time to learn this game. It just came in, so I knew people would be looking for videos on it, so I wanted to get this thing streamed. I'm glad I did, because I think it'll really help people, especially the solo. There's not a whole lot of solo videos out there yet, so I'll post this one to try to hopefully help people. But I just hadn't had a chance to really learn it. I sat down and learned this game in maybe 15, 20 minutes. And you know, the first half an hour of this stream, I was walking through very heavily everything I had just learned to basically teach you, but also teach me while sitting down. And just in that period of time of just stepping through all the actions on the board and explaining them, that was all the confirmation I needed to get playing. And I didn't even have to look at the book most of the time. There was only a couple of times where I had to look at something. So hats off to the publishers of this one, Duxonium Games. Duxomnium. This game is way stronger than I think people realize just looking at it. These kinds of games where you're just worker placement, drawing cards, playing cards, tend to be, I think people overlook them as being possibly too simple. This is a lovely, perfect mid-weight game with incredible, exquisite art direction, and illustration. And thematic integration is there in spades. So pick it up, go get this one. Fleur is fantastic. So that's it. Thank you very much for joining me at the table this wonderful but somewhat rainy and gloomy, at least where I'm at, Sunday afternoon. So we'll see you next week for another one. Take care. Oh, and I should say, hang around for the raid, will you? I think that would be really, really nice. So, all right, we'll see you guys next week.